So we're set to go in the final quarter. Primus out of the middle. The Power will be desperate for the first goal. They go down towards Dew, but he's beaten by Scott. To Ashcroft, across half back. Marcus Ashcroft thinks about Brad Scott, but then elects to go longer towards his skipper, Voss. But Carr was there. He pushed it down in front, straight to Scott. Oh, he put Voss under the pump, and he's lost it. Murray nips in and chips towards half forward, and the mark is taken there by Treadray. Real urgency in this Port start. They know they've got to fire up with a quick goal, or Brogan gets crushed. Brisbane have the numbers. Johnson runs out of room. Dew closes in on him, but he finds Luke Power just going short. Luke Power in front of the Social Club at the Gabba goes long up towards the half back line. Francis chips in now and goes inside 50 once again, this time Cockatoo Collins. Marks 50 out on an angle that will test him.
Probably a distance that would test him as well, right on his threshold, you'd think.
He's kicked for the season 39 goals, 39-11, but still looking for his first here tonight. What a fillip this would be for the Power. What a start. He won't make the distance. Big Bo sets himself and he smashes it over the back, conceding just the one behind.
Well, that's what you're looking for from a ruckman. When the long kick comes to the square, the big thump over the top, through for a behind. It's just so important for Port Adelaide that they kick the first goal to get back into it. There's Darryl Wakeland, one man who they're sadly missing down back. Chad Corns, who's been pretty soundly beaten by Darryl White tonight as well.
So the margin to 10 points, and Chris Scott to kick in for the Lions. Donald, a late movement to get back there, but just made it in time to rush that behind. White, again, the designated target, and again, he doesn't let him down. 199 games for Darryl White. And quickly to Michael, who worked hard to get up the ground. Gee, that's an ambitious kick for Ackermanis. Stevens right with him. Black, boundary throwing. Oh, supreme confidence shown by Mount Michael and Ackermanis. A player right on him says, "Oh, you can outmark him, surely, Jason." Wasn't to be. Boundary throw in, centre wing. Primus against McDonald. Primus had a bit of a spell just towards the end of the third quarter to keep him fresh for this last quarter. Ashcroft. Quick hands to Voss. Thought about Ackermanis. Went low. Wangan will tidy up here for Brisbane. No, he doesn't. Ackermanis. Well, that's pushed out.
Still a bit more time than he thought, Jason Ackermanis. He could have kept possession and turned around. He thought he was under the pump. Went for the quick hand pass over the top.
Crowd appealing for a deliberate, but it won't be there. As we see, here's Ackermanis.
He had time.
Yep. Stevens knocked it out. Franco on the burst. Couldn't get it. Lappin. Searching. Ashcroft. Can he get clean possession? Tapped it to the advantage of Brad Scott. Tough kick. Tough kick. Great kick. Unbelievable goal by Brad Scott.
They don't come much better than that.
He has played a great game, Brad Scott, tonight. He's done so many good jobs for Brisbane throughout the year, but tonight it's been a mixed bag. He's played on a number of different opponents. He's been an attacking player himself. 17 possessions. 4 marks, 5 tackles, he's kicked a goal, and that was a cracker. Some great work. The tap out was absolutely brilliant. And what about the speculator, the hand pass out of the pack, just over the top into space.
Already tonight we've talked about how accurate Brad Scott is. I don't think any of us thought he was that accurate. A sensational goal. Voss locks up Josh Franco in the middle, and we've got another bounce.
Really was the worst thing that could have happened from Port Adelaide's point of view. Just opens up the gap now. The doubts would creep in. They've got to hit back very quickly. They've got to kick one in the next minute or 2 minutes or so.
16 points is the margin. Primus edged under by McDonald. James caught by Scott again. And here they go. The machine is on the move. Voss tumbling the punt in towards full forward. Ricochets in towards the pocket. Still kept in play. Around the body goes McRae. Can he emulate the feats of Scott? He can't.
Oh, Jason Ackermanis has given him a decent old mouthful. Led right into his face. Would have been the barest of 10 metres, but he could have chipped it across, and he would have had a shot from directly in front. Very upset, Jason Ackermanis.
Dangerous sign for Port Adelaide too. Brisbane starting to run forward in waves. We haven't seen it at all tonight, but 3s and 4s running free and loose.
The pressure's just becoming a bit relentless, isn't it?
Bishop Has the kick in the back pocket. Bassett pleading for it. Goes long. Tredray's come a long way. White.
Yeah, just when he jumped, he put one hand, the left hand, on the shoulder to prop himself up. Good decision.
It's probably the only mistake he's made all night. White goes to Price, who has the ball. Delivered by Tredray. Now White drifts back onto him. He just goes short and edging ever so close. So Kingsley still 65 out. Kingsley goes in towards full forward. Lepic almost got a hand on it. And look at them pounce on that ball. How can you get that out? Well, White somehow does. Scott tries to find power. Then Brad Scott goes in again. Just about gave away a high tackle. Corns has been well held tonight. It's a real rainmaker. In towards full forward. Brogan got a hand to it. And the end result of all that is one behind.
We saw Warren Tredray involved in that previous movement, taking that strong mark up on the wing area here. Jason spoke earlier in the game that Tredray's at his most dangerous out of the goal square. Just wondering if they can control the ball, work it deeper down the ground and try and hit Tredray in the goal square. That's where he's going to win the game for them.
16 points again. Johnson short and plenty of room there for Chris Scott, and away he goes. Runs it towards the centre wing. Too much on it. Bradshaw runs way underneath it. And Port have 3 players back here, so they can set it up. Montgomery with ease. Back to the wing. Murray right with him, Johnson. Port, you'd think, would need to get the next goal. Here's Murray. Now Brisbane just getting a few numbers back. Murray up and under it a bit. Where's Tredray? White at the back, the punch. He's done that all night. Well, that was untidy from Black. Not used to that. It was clean from Kingsley. That's a good, dangerous kick to the square. Mal Michael.
Oh, brilliant.
He had the match of strength and height on James, and away goes Voss, and away goes Lappin, and away goes Ackermanis. 3 of the Fab 4. Where's Black? Here they go. Ackermanis. He can lift them. He decides to switch it into the middle. Oh, good kick, McRae. He can go further. Oh, he ran himself into trouble. Shocking kick. Terrible kick. And Port on the rebound. McRae has made a shocking error. Now it's Stevens. Stevens to James. Port running through the midfield. 1-on-1 up forward. James goes for home. Well, I don't know about that. Has he got enough? No. Superman back there on the back line is now Michael.
And Craig McRae was absolutely delighted that he took that mark.
Yeah, look, I don't think it was all Craig McRae's fault. Justin Lepic led, and just as he was about to kick to the lead, he doubled back long and put him in a tough position to get the kick to where Lepic needed it.
Primus. Almost arrogant shove. Schofield off to Corns. Well smarted. That was McRae. Johnson. And here goes Johnson again. Take it to the line and he'll get a free kick.
And the Academy Award as well. What about his handball that over top of his opponent, and there was a bloke coming off the interchange bench and it's gone straight to him. And there it is. It was Cockatoo Collins, and have a look at that.
Oh, superb.
He flew further than Bruce Lee then.
Johnson, who was excellent in the clash against Sydney. Firing it in just short, finding Scott. Well, the Scott boys have put in superb performances tonight. Chris and Brad. And again, we have every player, all bar Mal Michael, in one half of the ground.
Still got to press.
He's going to go back to him.
They've still got to press forward and kick a couple of goals to close it out, Brisbane. The last thing they want to do is start mucking around like this.
This is Chris Scott. Oh, sandwich. Difficult.
You're only going to get yourself in trouble.
Good call, Jason.
Finds his brother.
Oh, he's clear.
He's opened up something here. Ashcroft will go longer now. The lead is on from Lepic. He's got it.
Oh, play on.
Not paid. Stevens is away. The power is away. They desperately want a goal. Guerrero goes out wide with a hand pass to Cockatoo Collins. Can Che keep it in? They're right on his hammer. He paddles it along the boundary line.
Work.
He's still going. He's almost inside 50. Tredray back to Cockatoo Collins. Wonderful play by Shea Cockatoo Collins. He eventually finishes with it in the right forward pocket.
He's gained 100 metres there, Shea Cockatoo Collins.
Well,
Lepic coming out. There's the first grab. There's the second one. Oh, he didn't control it. Good decision.
from the throw-in. I remember Gary Ablett taking months similar to that. I think he was paid. McDonald's kick drops short. Kingsley. 12 minutes remaining in the match. At the moment, the Lions 12 minutes from having a week off and preparing for a preliminary final. Treadray, Brad Scott once again to his brother. Ackermanis is wide. If it sits, the only one chasing is Fabian Francis. He just goes over the top of Fabian Francis to Lappin. Lappin is away. He can go into the middle. That's where Black is lurking. And here goes Black. What a kick. Simon Black can all but finish this game. Needs to bend it back. And here he comes. And here come the Lions. How good was that?
I tell you what, the kick from Nigel Lappin was supreme. Absolutely supreme. He was going to go over and shepherd Ackermanis at half-back, and when he realised Ackermanis had time of control, he took off. Fabian Francis got drawn in. And then look at this. Leppich led at him. The space opened up, and he didn't have to break stride, Simon Black. And then the left foot. Look at the finish. That's a good way to close the door in the face of the opposition, isn't it? Absolutely superb.
2 goals to Simon Black, 2 goals to Black, and the move forward, the shift with Hart into the middle, and now they're rotating Black and Voss. Has been a winning move by Matthews. Black's picked up a couple of goals, Hart's picked up plenty of the ball, and Simon Black's back in there again. It's a free kick going to Port. It's Murray. He's got Carr wide. He's going to play on. Some urgency will be needed from Port here. Michael hasn't put a foot wrong since he's come on.
Very good.
They've got 3-on-1 here, Brisbane. The shepherd will finally come. White. 22 points now, looking
great
like a big margin. And Lappin.
Black again.
It's the Fab Four. There was 3 of them last time. It was Ackermanis to Lappin to Black. This time it's Lappin to Black. Tough kick from there. He centres it. He needs a big mark. His captain's there. It falls down to the ground. Pike. Voss. Off one step. Miss.
Shanked it. He shanked it. He can't believe it. Look at him. He cannot believe it. He had more time than he thought. He straightened up. He just had to poke it through. And almost a wry grin on the face of Michael Voss.
Well, they're just finding space now, Brisbane, like they haven't all evening. Really, the game is opening up nicely for them.
23 points is the margin. Montgomery on the outer side towards Primus. Primus looks up towards centre wing. They want to couple smartly now to have any hope. Burgoyne goes towards the 50. Out comes the charging Treadray. Michael is there with him and it ricochets away. Was it on the full? It was. So the Lions breathing a sigh of relief now. It's been a while between drinks for the Power. Well, the Brisbane Lions suffered the same problem early on in the match. They kicked just the 1 goal in the first quarter. Then eventually got a couple late in the second to bring them back. But they've really got the old foot on the accelerator now. Chris Scott towards Jonathan Brown. All of a sudden now their disposal, their confidence, everything has risen.
Well, the disposal's a big difference, Sandy. Brisbane have really lifted in that area.
Lappin. Francis just trying to creep a metre or two. Lappin says head out wide. Speaking of good kicks, almost perfect for Bradshaw. Cockatoo Collins takes the crumbs and chips to Bishop on half back. 23 points. Bassett goes to the other side of the ground. Murray from the half back line goes towards Brent Guerra, sneaking in front of Voss.
They just don't have those big targets inside 50, do they? Corns and Treadray just not presenting themselves.
Guerra kicked a goal in the first quarter. He goes towards Montgomery, but Johnson has other ideas. He just positioned himself beautifully, then chipped in front and took the mark. And the Lions are away once again. Francis is going to close quickly on Lappin. Lappin equal to the task on all fours, gives away the hand pass, and Ashcroft is charging out of defence again.
Yes, and here's Ackermanis. Hard running by the Brisbane midfield. Runs his full measure. Kick goes off the side a little bit. It suits Port, and it's a good, strong mark in front to Kingsley, who once again has been very good for Port down back.
21 possessions, 8 marks.
Goes up to Francis. Still time for Port.
The difference here, it's stop-start footy for Port Adelaide. Brisbane get a fast break and they move the ball quickly.
Well, here's Schofield. He can go to the 50. He's going to go long. He needs it to bend back, but going through for the punch. is a disciplined Chris Johnson.
I mean, that was a better example of it, wasn't it? Schofield made the forward movement, and really what Port need to do now, Burgoyne, Stevens, Schofield, those type of players, they've got to take a chance. When they get possession of the ball in the midfield in a dispute contest, they must be running forward of the play, trying to create the loose player, moving the ball quick, trying to isolate Treadray one out.
The margin was 11 points at three-quarter time. The Brisbane Lions getting the first goal through Brad Scott.
It's called play on
from Simon Black.
Justin Lepich having a rest, Lynch back on.
Thank you, Vic. Victoria Carthy on the boundary line tonight with Dipper. Martin Pike got to get past Stuart Dew. He's effective enough towards Copeland. He goes, and the youngster sees it over the line. Robert Copeland playing in his first final, the 19-year-old from the Northern Eagles. It's been really a dream season unfolding for him off the rookie list. And all of a sudden, finding himself playing at the highest level. McDonald slapping towards Voss. Tried to flick it wide, and Simon Black just unable to control it.
Well, he's knocked up getting it. 29 possessions, 2 goals to Simon Black, 28 possessions and a goal to Nigel Lappin, 19 possessions to Ackermanis, and just the 13 to Voss in the midfield for Brisbane.
But they did drop hard in the midfield for 15 possessions.
Well, he's
in that
been
third
very
quarter,
good, yeah. He's had a total of 22 touches.
Lappin and Francis playing tunnel ball, so too is Franco, and he goes in again. Pike comes in over the top. Burgoyne from the side.
And Brad Scott, I just think it's been an exceptional game from him. 22 possessions, he's kicked a goal, he's done it all, Brad Scott.
Justin Lepich, not required anymore. Here's Pike. Long and into the 50. Into the big gun forwards. Brown, Lynch and co. Bradshaw. Here's Brown. Needs someone going past. Thank you very much. It was Lynch. He's lost it. Stevens will give it away to Cockatoo Collins. This time the Port defence is holding firm. They're going to get away from it. Montgomery, what have I got downfield? Looks, stops, then eventually pops it over the top to Stevens. Another one finding Schofield. Pike gives chase, but Schofield's away up to the half-forward line. Smashed back towards Schofield and Burgoyne. Burgoyne bounces off his teammate, comes in towards full forward. Maybe the last roll of the dice, a chance for a much-needed goal, and Brent Guerra gets it.
Free kick.
He's paid the free kick. Paid the free kick to Chris Scott for a push-out.
He took his time paying the free kick, didn't he?
Yep.
Well, well, well.
So Chris Scott gets it. He turned to the umpire and said, come on, what about something for the effort? As Lappin gets it over to Chris Scott. Chris Scott just lopes along the boundary, took 3 bounces in 10 metres, and then with a sand wedge goes towards, well, Bassett came across, Voss was the target, play on the advantage, the push, Brown, kick around the corner towards Lynch, in front, goes to ground.
He's got the free kick.
And he's got the free kick, and Mead is unhappy. Ackermanis is trying to get an advantage, it's not going to go his way. So Alistair Lynch,
Yeah, he was nearly pleading for that one.
Yeah.
He was stretching for the ball, just retarded. He'll go back and have a set shot on a 45-degree angle, but he's only about 15 metres out.
well, he had one earlier in the game, didn't he, from about 10 metres on the angle.
He's doing his best to crib too.
And hooked it left.
He's going to get moved 5 metres around.
And Lynch has kicked just the one in the third quarter.
1 goal, 2 behinds.
He is the leading goal kicker in finals for Brisbane. He's kicked 29, and this is 10th final. So this for Brisbane to put it beyond doubt, and he has done it.
Well, it's a match breaker really, Jason, isn't it? I mean, Port Adelaide hanging in there. We saw a passage of play before where Brent Guerra got the ball in the half-back line. He just sat in prop. There wasn't a second movement. They just haven't been able to move the ball along the lines. Conversely, Brisbane have moved the ball quick and efficiently. Just brought their key forwards in the game. Alistair Lynch getting front position there. Darren Meaden is back. See Ackermanis there just crumbing as well. He's run forward hard throughout the second half.
Two goals to Lynch, 2 to Ackermanis, 2 to Black. As the Brisbane Lions roll on now. Schofield out of the middle. Cockatoo Collins chipping into the lead, and it's a good one too from Treadray.
Well, that's the movement, Sandy, isn't it? I mean, it just has been, unfortunately, done sparingly in this last quarter. A quick movement, a break out of the centre square, and able to find and isolate Treadray in front of his opponent. Warren has just struggled tonight, primarily because of the use of the ball coming forward.
2 goals to Tredrea, and both of those came in the second quarter. Getting underneath a drop punt, it's high, but it is wide.
I think one of the things, Tony, you're talking about, they haven't had as much run this quarter. I think the effort told early on. They worked so hard against the run of play early on. So many players had to push up the ground into defence and then run the ball out at every opportunity. They just covered, I mean, it's not that Brisbane haven't worked hard, but they've just covered more ground. Too many of the players, I think they're just a little bit tired. They're showing the effort.
I mean, it is a really taxing game plan, isn't it, that flood game?
Chris Scott to the outer side. Michael was a flyer. Schofield through some heavy traffic. Maybe a chance for Francis, but Hart's right on his hammer.
Just looking at the score, Sam, there's an amazing reverse symmetry to the last time they played it together. Port were held to just 2 goals in the first half. Brisbane were held to 3 goals in the second half. It's been reversed. Brisbane were held to 3 in the first half. Port just 1 in the second.
Extraordinary.
Thank you, Sam.
McDonald and Brogan. Brogan, Pike, claimed by Guerra. Four and a half minutes. And Mark Williams and his crew will have to start thinking about Hawthorn and Sydney. Chris Scott again. Sockers off the ground. Francis, can he get clear? Gives it away to Franco. He can sniff a goal. Pokes it high. Going to be very close.
He had players everywhere. Guerra was one of them. Schofield was another. Both looking for the little chip on the left boot. He took it upon himself to take the shot for goal. Just pulled it back a bit too far, Franco.
5 behinds for Port in this last quarter. Whereas they were spot on early. Kicked their first 6 goals without a miss. It's now 8-8 as Brisbane just work it to the defensive 50. And here is Brad Scott once again. Virtually missed the whole season last year and now enjoying a terrific year. And will be playing in a preliminary final next week.
He's a big rap for him.
In 2 weeks,
Lee Matthews.
Yeah, he is.
Because he does a job for him all the time.
And his skills have improved out of sight. At the wing. Still working his Cockatoo Collins. Gets under that. Hard one to mark, and it's gone way out of bounds on the full, so Sean Hart will take the kick. And game just slowing down a little bit. From Brisbane's point of view, they have had Alistair Lynch reported. They don't appear to have any injuries on the bench. Port have a couple of problems. Wakeland looks a bit sore.
Yeah, well, he hasn't returned since early on in the second quarter.
Wanganeen spending some time on the bench. Over the back it spills. Carr, Black, sat on it. Franco right with him, as is Brad Scott. And once again,
just looking towards the Port Adelaide game next week as well. A lot of these boys will be a lot better for the finals experience.
Yep.
I mean, in terms of finals experience, they're quite inexperienced.
Well, it's only Port's second final, isn't it?
Yep.
So they'll be much better for the run and the intensity of a finals game.
Montgomery down and low, and Voss appealing. It hasn't happened all night, so he's not going to get it. Right on centre wing. At one stage, Brisbane trailed by 22 points, and Port was streaming forward. We thought perhaps another goal would really get things moving. But the second half has belonged to the Lions, as Franco refuses to give in. It's a bit scrappy. It's a bit untidy. It's not going far.
Stevens isn't going far either, just to the line. It was touched, though, with a throw in.
Sandy, some very impressive statistics for Jonathan Brown, which just reflects the amount of work he's done. He's had 18 possessions and 10 marks and just covered so much ground very early on. Creates a lot of space for his teammates, Jonathan Brown.
Wonderful effort when you consider he's just 19 years of age, playing in a key position like that, arguably the toughest on the ground. Pikey's still going strong.
Be interesting too how Mark Williams plays it after the game. We saw Danny Frawley this morning really talking up the loss from Friday night, the fact they wanted the double chance, they got it. They now get an opportunity despite the loss Friday night.
Yep.
Whether Mark Williams takes the same track or he genuinely feels hurt by the loss.
Voss taken to the line by Ackermanis, by Cockatoo Collins.
Well, there's no doubt Mark Williams will be pretty sorely hurt by the performance, but what he has to do is keep the spirit of his troops up.
You can't be too negative,
exactly.
Can you? I mean, they've really tested Brisbane tonight. It's perhaps a lack of numbers in that taxing game plan, which has hurt them in the end. And Brisbane stars really coming into it in the second half.
Take 2 for Voss. This time gets clear, spears it in towards Alistair Lynch,
There's the hit on the left
who wheels around now. He's got Brad Scott. He's got Brad Scott.
One of the best men on the ground, Brad Scott. It's been a superb performance.
Directly in front and 35 metres out. He can just seal his night with a goal. He has kicked one so far, and that was earlier in this quarter. Big game from Brad Scott. Made his debut in '97, starting with Hawthorn.
It was a big loss. He had a terrific year the year before he left us. A player I was very sad to see go, but he wanted to play with his brother. We were hoping to get his brother down there.
Why not?
At the time.
Here he is. Straight over the goal umpire's head, and she's over. Brad Scott gets his second. The Lions will play in a preliminary final. And that is good news for their skipper, Michael Voss. Luke Power.
Lovely left foot kick from Voss.
Oh, it's superb. Absolutely superb.
Brad Scott capping off a wonderful game with his second goal. Margin 32 points. In the dying minutes of the game, White behind Jew. Francis got caught. Gee, that's clever from Murray. But Johnson just got a little hand in there just to cause him to lose possession. Hart forward, McDonald on the up to Brad Scott once again. Not his best kick for the evening. Ackermanis caused the contest, but 2-on-1 wins there. Schofield round the body. Corns. Cockatoo Collins has time to go to the 50. Has time to just spot a player up, but in comes White. Refuses to give it up. 3-on-1 here. And there'll be a free kick to Tim Notting.
You mentioned Daryl White. There's the siren. If the Brisbane Lions need any added incentive in their preliminary final, it'll be Daryl White's 200th game. They're successful here tonight. Emphatic winners in the end. 12 goals, 16, 88. Eclipsing Port Adelaide, 8 goals, 8, 56. The Brisbane Lions through to the preliminary final, where they will play the winner of the Carlton-Richmond clash. Let's go down under the ground. Here's Victoria Carthew. Vic.
Thank you, Sandy. Brad, congratulations. That margin doesn't really show you how tight that match was.
Oh, it was a very tough match. Port are an excellent side. You know, we think we might meet them again in the finals at some stage. They're a very good side.
That's 14 in a row, you know, preliminary final now.
Yeah, it's amazing. Look, personally, I've had a couple of years out, and it's great to be back in a finals campaign.
Now, just about you and your goal kicking, you know your teammates are looking to you. You're very accurate these days.
Yeah, well, I'm a backman, so I didn't think I could kick, but occasionally I do try and sneak forward, so it's good.
Go and enjoy yourself. Thanks, Scotty.
Thanks, Vic.
Brad Scott, well done. 2 goals for him tonight. There's Justin Leppich. One of the moves of the night that paid handsome dividends was his move down into the forward line. They'll enjoy the week off. Port, on the other hand, will now watch with interest the contest between Hawthorn and Sydney, because they will play the winner of that clash. Dipper.
Yeah, thanks very much, Sandy. Put your helmet on there, Shawnee. Good on you, mate. You don't need it now. Trust me, I won't hurt you. But what a terrific win by the boys.
Yeah, that's a great turnaround. We were down early, as you know, and we just come out with a great belief tonight that we just got to stick to what we know works for us and what's worked the last 14 weeks. And the game turned beautifully for us.
It certainly has been building up the last 13 weeks for you guys. As Lee said, you're in the barriers now, and now you fight the first shot.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think the proof is in the pudding of how fit our team is tonight. You know, we just seem to keep going and really wore them down. They were on top of us early with skill and a bit of space to work in, but we shut it down. Our tackling improved, and gee, we were far better in that second half.
Now, Sean, I'd be honoured if you gave me that helmet.
I've got to find a little kid in the crowd. So
let's go do that. Hey, well done. Go on, mate.
And there's no show without punch. So Acker, the tradition continues. And don't they love it? They were stunned in the first half, this crowd. Absolutely stunned. Now it's Sean Hart who gives away the helmet to a youngster in the crowd. Many of them in this crowd tonight with the Brisbane Lions colours came here expecting a comprehensive win. Certainly didn't come their way in the first half, but it's been worth the wait now.
Sandy, I think one thing that's important for Brisbane tonight is the fact that they've cruised along for the last couple of months. They've appeared to do it so easy. This time things didn't go right, and they worked their way through it. They struggled early. They wasted a lot of possession. Port blocked them up and bottled the ball up very, very well. But it was just good to actually have to grind one out, have to absolutely eke out every goal, particularly in the first half, and just to stick at it persistence-wise. A very good grafting win, that one for Brisbane.
Well, that quarter-time scoreline of 1-6 didn't look at all pretty. And then at 3-9 at half-time, whereas Port had piled on 5 goals, 1 in that second term to have a 16-point lead. But this is the team that's singing the song.